Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Transformers Robots in Disguise Combiner Force review for you. This is Galvatronus. As far as I know, this is the last of the kind of 5-figure Crash Combiner Force sets. Previously we had Ultra B and Menasor. Just blanking on his name there for a second. And then I believe this is the last. I don't think we've seen really anything out of like San Diego or NYCC as far as Riot is concerned. I think the line is pretty much ending, which would make sense. I would assume they're going to start ramping up for some new toy line, cartoon, something like that. Should be coming soon. I'm wondering if we'll see something at Toy Fair coming up in around February. So only time will tell, but I think Riot is kind of on its way out. But I don't know. These things have kind of been stupidly fun. I don't really understand why I like them so much, but I do. When I saw pictures originally, I thought I would absolutely hate Ultra B and Menasor, but I ended up really loving them. Even the Crash Combiners, which, in my opinion, not very articulated, hardly any kind of transformation, but they're just kind of stupidly fun. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing with this guy here. You can see some artwork there on the side of Cyclonus, and not sure these characters' names, but there they are. Taking a look on the back. Oh, here we go. Now we have names. So we have, see if I can get this to focus. Cyclonus, Cyberwarp, Treadshot, Riot Gear, and Skyjack. So there you go. I like the look of the combined mode here on the back. I think that's kind of cool. And then, of course, the usual app things that they're always advertising down here. Bottom of the box, nothing special, just kind of also tells you about the other ones that are available. And then the top is just kind of more of the window. So, not a whole lot going on with the packaging, but it gets the job done. Let's go ahead and get Galvatronus out, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so we have all 5 here in their vehicle modes. I decided to start with vehicle mode just because I thought it would be a nice place to start. These 4 already come packaged in vehicle mode, so just kind of made sense. Now I'm going to try to keep these names right, but as I have never heard of really any of these names before, I'm probably going to get them wrong. So this is Riot Gear. This is Cyberwarp. Obviously Cyclonus, I know. Skyjack and Treadshot. So forgive me if I get those wrong as we go through this video. I guess I'll start with these 2 first. So this is Riot Gear and Treadshot. I kind of like the vehicle modes. They definitely remind me of something out of like Beast Machines because they're kind of Cybertronistic vehicle modes. Also kind of remind me of the little purple car that came with Trypticon in G1. This one is obviously all purple with red detailing, and then this is all purple with green detailing. I like the purple and green one a little bit better just because I think those 2 colors go well together. A little bit better than purple and red. What are you going to do? Transformation is laughably simple. There you go, that's it. So as with some of the other ones, we've had very simple transformations. Usually like maybe the chest folds down and the head pops out. Something like that. But this guy, it's really just the hands. And that is it. Trying to take a closer look at the face sculpt there. It's not bad. He's got kind of an angry grimace. Nice silver paint on the face. The red eyes are painted pretty well. So I think they did a nice job there. Has a little bit of blue down here for his feet. Now the red one is Riot Gear, from what I can see. The green one, Treadshot. Exact same transformation. Very simple. Taking a closer look at his head sculpt. Again, red eyes painted nicely. Silver face painted pretty nicely. Green detailing here on the chest is nice. So, I mean, they're painted very well for as small as they are. But their transformations definitely favor the feet that they will eventually become in this combined form. But, it is what it is. It's kind of par for the course for these, so it's not really fair to complain when you know what they're going to be going in. Overall, I like the vehicle modes. The robot modes are, again, what we're kind of used to. They're nicely painted, nicely, detailed as far as molding and everything. The transformation is very, very simple. But I'm going to put these 2 guys off to the side for a moment, and we will progress to Cyberwarp is the yellow one, and Skyjack is the green one. So again, mostly blue, but you have that yellow accent color, and then mostly blue with the green accent color. Not really sure why they didn't do red. I mean, if you have green on two, and then you have yellow on one and red on one, to me it would make kind of sense to do green on both, or green on one of each and red on one of each, but it is what it is. Transformation for this is a little bit more intricate. You're going to unhook here and swing this part all the way around. And then you're going to take this, and this is going to kind of lift up, and you can see the tab right there is going to peg into this tab hole right here. So you just go ahead and do that, and that's kind of your feet. At this point, you're going to come around, and you can see the hinge right here where my finger is. And that's going to just fold in and fold in. And then you actually get a ball joint here for your shoulder, which I have to say is probably the most articulation we've seen on any of these. Fold this back and that'll kind of naturally fold the head out. Now, unfortunately for these, the heads, there we go. I had to stick it all the way down. The heads are a little sunken down there, but you can kind of push them and they'll pop out. Again, pretty good. Red eyes, silver for the face. I'm kind of torn because obviously these guys are pretty solid as far as the legs go, but I mean, when you compare it to something like this, there's no articulation whatsoever in this robot mode. The legs don't move, the arms can kind of, I guess, press against the side if you want to call that articulation. These guys actually have ball joints in their shoulder. That is a solid hand movement. That is nice. This, with the way this is, really kind of reminds me of Jetstorm from Beast Machines. Again, this whole pack really is invoking Beast Machines memories for me. I feel like this is not bad. Of all the Crash Combiners we've gotten, and as far as articulation goes, for a single figure, not a combined form, a single figure, I think these lead the pack. I mean, you can even have her sit. You can bend at the knee as well. I mean, that's decent articulation for these. I really have to say, I think these have won the competition for articulation as far as a Crash Combiner figure goes. And again, you get kind of a Cybertronian jet mode. These jet modes kind of remind me of, in the very beginning, in the first couple episodes, well, the very beginning of the first episode of G1 Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye, the 3-parter. The Seekers had a form that was somewhat similar to this, which it kind of reminds me of. But this transforms the same way. Just spin this around, fold the arms in, and then bring this down, fold the head back. Am I bringing this down all the way? Yes, I believe so. And then you got to flip this up and peg that in. And again, the face sculpt looks pretty good. Nice molding, silver and red paint, very sharp. And I would imagine it's pretty difficult to precisely paint such a small area without having any kind of bleeding over. Like you don't have any red on the face or any silver in the eyes. And they don't. So they've done a pretty good job there. And shoulder ball joints. So these guys aren't bad, I have to say. I definitely think these two beat these two, especially in terms of articulation. But putting all of those aside for the moment, we'll get on to the main event. You have Cyclonus. I like this vehicle mode. It's a very Robots in Disguise designed like G1 Cyclonus, if that makes sense. It's definitely a Robots in Disguise animation take on the G1 character, and they've done a great job with applying the style of the new show to this character. I think it looks really cool. You can see there's a black visor there. It kind of blends in because the purple is so dark. He does come with this ridiculously gigantic gun, which I think is supposed to be able to peg in somewhere, but it kind of doesn't really. Like, I guess technically this giant tab on the side of the gun could peg into one of these, but it doesn't really make sense to do that because of the, you know, it just kind of shoots off to the side, so I don't know what's going on with that. There's a peg hole here, which I don't know what that's meant for because this is a square. Underneath, yeah, I don't really know. You can see the larger combined mode head. Otherwise, hide the robot kibble fairly well. You can tell these are going to be the legs, obviously. That's the waist. but the hands fold up nicely. So yeah, I don't know where this is supposed to peg in. It doesn't really make sense. You're given 3 square pegs, but because of the way... Oh, you know what? There's a peg right there I just noticed. Is that supposed to... There you go. That's what's supposed to happen. So there you go. We learned that together. I just discovered that now on camera. I didn't see that in the directions. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see it. But there you go. So that can mount on top there. That actually looks pretty cool. I don't mind that. So there you go. Secret peg on the bottom. Don't miss it. It's right there. So anyway, gigantic gun. Putting that off to the side. Transformation, pretty simple. You start by just kind of breaking this apart. And then this just kind of rotates out. You can see Cyclonus' head there. These rotate around. I'm going to lift the camera up a little bit. This rotates. Now, I accidentally... you want to grab it. And if you press that, it's going to flip the big head around. So try not to accidentally push that giant black button right there. These fold onto the back. And he doesn't really have any real hands, unfortunately. So you're just kind of stuck with... I apologize. Why is the lighting got real weird? I apologize about that. You lift this up, and then you split these apart, and then you're going to rotate this around 180 degrees, and then you can rotate these up, and they kind of separate and become the waist up there. Now at this point you can rotate this all the way up. I like to leave it on the back like that. I think you can leave it down if you want like a butt skirt. That's up to you. You're going to rotate this kind of out and then up. And how this is going to work. There is some tab holes right here and here. And you can see this tab right there is going to peg in. And that's what's going to give you your little feet. And then you can rotate at the knee. And that's pretty much going to give you your robot mode. So trying to get in close and take a look at the face. Again, it's kind of a small area. I like the head. I like the ears up here. Again, the eyes are painted red. The face is painted silver. Looks pretty good. Does not have any articulation, obviously. Now, you can get some shoulder movement because of the transformation. You can actually pull these down. There's kind of a joint in there. You can see it's kind of double jointed. So you can get like movement here. This can move because of, again, the transformation. So he can't, unfortunately, like turn the forearms at all, but he doesn't really have any hands or anything, so I don't know why you would need to anyway. This can move kind of back and forth just because of the transformation, and then you have, of course, this movement because of the transformation. So he's not really big on articulation. You can move, you can unpeg these, and if you want to put them straight back, you can. That's your call, your preference. If you wanted to kind of put them together, something like that, you could do that. They do actually peg. You can see there's a slot right there, and there's a peg right there where my finger is. So they can peg against the shoulder, and it obviously all moves as one piece. So it's not bad. I like the robot mode. He just really suffers from no hand syndrome, and he also suffers from lack of articulation. But with these guys, that's kind of par for the course. It's kind of what we've come to expect. Also, I don't believe there's a way for him to wield this gun in the robot mode. Taking a look at the inside of the hand here. Yeah, I don't see a way for that to work. It feels like it should. And if it had, you can see how there's a peg hole, or, you know, rectangular peg hole right there. If there was another peg hole even down here, I feel like it could peg in right there. And it almost looks like it's meant to, because like this piece here looks like it's kind of acting as like a thumb almost. So if he could peg it in like that somehow, but I'm not seeing anything on the gun itself as far as additional pegs, but I did miss that one initially, so let's take a look. I'm not seeing anything. So it's kind of a bummer. I mean, it can be wielded by the larger robot, which we'll see in a moment, but it cannot be wielded by Cyclonus in his robot mode. What about... Oh, the head's transforming on me. Apologize for that. No, it can't. I mean, you could try to peg it in somewhere and make it look ridiculous, but I'm not going to bother. So yeah, like I said, I kind of like their robot modes. They're very simple. I kind of like these guys the most because the shoulder joints are really nice. And then you have hip and knee joints, very limited, but they do exist. And I like Cyclonus' robot mode. Again, no hands, but what are you going to do? Other than that, not bad. Pretty consistent for this line. So like I said, it's not fair to compare them to standard like warrior class RID toys with all the articulation, because that's not what they're supposed to be. They're not meant to be that. For what they are, I think they're pretty good, what they're advertised to be. Let's go ahead and get into the giant robot transformation. Alright, so getting the 2 feet ready is very simple. Push the hands together. This blue piece here, that is the kind of shins of the feet, will rotate around. We've seen this before with Menasor, and become kind of knee pads. And then this whole section, just put your fingers right here, and this will clip up. And then you can see with this joint right here, you do get some ankle rotation for the larger robot. So that's kind of cool. Plus he's got wheels on the front, so it's like he can skate. So take the second one, do the exact same thing. Bring this out. Boom. Ankle rotation. So there you go. You have your 2 feet done. Next up, these little dudes. You're going to unpeg the feet and straighten them back out like you're transforming it back into vehicle mode. You're going to take the 2 hands, and you can see that there's a tab right here, and then there's a little notch in the hands. And that's how they transform in vehicle mode too. Just instead of it being out to the side, you're going to leave it tucked in. So we go ahead and tab that. And then you're going to fold the head in as you bring this part around. Basically what's going to be is, this is going to be like the fingers, and you can kind of see like a claw. And then this piece here is supposed to be like the thumb. So then if I put it like this, this is where the port's going to connect, and then this is going to be the hand right here. This section right here makes up the hand. And you can see there is a tab right there so that they can wield the gun. So there you go. That's how that works. So you're going to take this other one and do the exact same thing. Bring this in and tab this together. And then just unpeg the foot. And there you go. Now I believe the box has the green one on this side and the yellow one on this side. And then swaps the feet so you don't have both green ones on the same side. So we'll try to do the same. But put them off to the side. So this guy is pretty simple. You're going to go ahead and unpeg these just to kind of get them out of the way. You're going to go ahead and flip that up. You're going to want to move this. If you have this up, you can move it first, but I didn't, so oh well. Rotate this around. Actually, you're going to have to pull out the connector ports from the inside, just like that. And then I believe, yes, that's the right way. You're going to want to rotate this around, and this is kind of hard to do. You kind of have to move this joint around like that. So you want to push the joint on the inside so you can get the clearance. Whoops, first you have to pull that port out or else you can't connect the arm. There we go. So you can see pretty much already have the main torso part by pushing the arms up there. Make sure you have these. These should be up. I did this incorrectly. These things are kind of floppy, so they're kind of a pain in the butt. At this point, you can put the arms back, or the wings, rather. So there you go. This is very, very simple. You rotate this 180 degrees. Hooray, you're done. So that's it for that section. So there you go. Your torso for Cyclonus, or Galvatronus, I should say, is all set. You're going to take this, peg it in there, take this, peg it in there. You've got your feet. Take this. I don't know why this isn't wanting to connect. There we go. And then peg this in as well. There we go. I just had some trouble lining it up. Now the wings, again, you can, if you want to move them back, you can. If you want to push them all the way in, I think you have to give a little bit. Like if you want to move the arms, you're going to have to put the wings back a little bit just to give yourself clearance. But what you're left with is not a bad looking robot mode. I mean, yeah, his hands are a little goofy looking, but you can go ahead and peg that gun in, and that gives them a little bit more credibility when they're holding a gun. They kind of look more like hands, I mean. So overall, I kind of like it. Obviously, purple and blue is the main color scheme, but you have the yellow and the green and the red for a little bit of accent. You have that symbol here you can scan for the app if you'd like. I'm going to try to get in close here so we can see Galvatronus' head sculpt. Fairly simplistic, but I like it. It doesn't really look a lot like Galvatron, though, which I thought is what they were kind of going for by calling it Galvatronus. It kind of still just looks like Cyclonus. But it's definitely a different looking head. And I like the head sculpt. I think it looks good. Again, eyes painted red, silver face, so nice detailing there. So yeah, I like it. I definitely think, again, it's another one of those ones that from the packaging and from the designs and everything, I would think, oh, I'm not going to like that. But then when you get it in hand, it's fun. I think this robot mode looks neat. I mean, he's got wheels on his feet. I really like the color scheme. I think the torso is what really does it for me. He really looks bulky like a bruiser. You know, I really, really like the head sculpt and the whole torso section. I'm fine with the feet. The hands aren't great, but I feel like you can kind of see what they're going for with the thumb and the hands and the fingers and everything right there. And he wields the gun very well, so that's nice. And I kind of like the look of the wings on the back. I think that looks good. So yeah, overall, I think it's another one of these that's pretty fun. So once again, I'm kind of surprised. I like Galvatronus a lot more than I thought I would. I thought for sure that if any of the three I wasn't going to like, this was going to be it, because of the weird kind of hands and the feet and the super basic transformation for Riot Gear. What is this guy? Riot Gear and Treadshot. I'm still going to have trouble figuring out these names because they're such random names, but I like this figure. It's another one of these that's stupid fun. It shouldn't work. It does. At least for me. I know a lot of people hate these, and I get why. I mean, if you have a Warrior class line, it's basically, you know, deluxe. I don't know why they called it Warrior for Robots in Disguise, but they did. Those figures are great. You know, nice transformation, nice articulation, lots of great things working for them. This is definitely not that. It's a different line with a different gimmick. You know, probably mostly for kids. I think these are probably definitely more geared towards kids than collectors because they are very much gimmick based and the articulation greatly suffers as a result of that. But I'm having a blast with them. I don't know why, but I absolutely am. The Crash Combiners are a lot of fun. All three of these 5, you know, robot teams, Ultra B, Menasor, and now Galvatronus. I like them. I don't know why. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Is it just me? Am I crazy? Am I the only one having fun with these? What do you guys think? So I think this guy's great. I got him on sale at Toys R Us a little bit ago for 25 bucks. Totally worth it in my opinion. If you can get it on sale even cheaper than that, I say it's a no-brainer. Pick this up. There's fun to be had, especially if you have little ones that you want to get into Transformers. It's a great bridge. Get them into it. There's lots of fun to be had. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look at Galvatronus from the Combiner Wars, Transformers Robots in Disguise. I said Combiner Wars, Combiner Force. I knew I was going to do that at least once. In any case, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.